Okay.
And still, that's a maybe, and that's also kind of a super late game
I've
situation.
never actually gotten to Brood Lords in ZvZ.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about infestors, and I don't want to spend too much time just dialoguing, but I want to talk about infestors just for a second before we start jumping in and playing games.
Hmm?
Uh, I think Artosis said this on a GSL stream at one point, but in Zerg versus Zerg, making infestors is like saying, you cannot attack me at all, ever.
Oh, sorry about that.
Do you need to take that?
No, no, no.
Okay. It's like saying, you cannot attack me at all ever, because infestors, when controlled properly, and that's a big, you know, underline, exclamation point, bold, italics, quotes in parentheses. When controlled properly, infestors allow you to entirely dictate the positioning of a fight. A lot of times we talk about in ZVT and in ZVP, the other race dictates when we fight, and that's just true. Their army is kind of the sort that it's typically stronger than ours in a heads-up engagement. So if they decide it's time to fight, then we can't really do anything to prevent that. But with infestors and with Zerg mobility, we can dictate where we fight. And this is especially true in Zerg versus Zerg. So if he decides that he wants to attack you, okay, you know, you might not want to be attacked, but you know, you can live with it because you have infestors. You're going to dictate the terms. So he says we're going to fight at high noon tomorrow. You say okay, well, but we're fighting where I get all this surface area and you get this little corner, and that's how it's going to go down. And that's what the infestor lets you do, you know. And I guess it's kind of hard to paint this picture with just words, but you know, if you're being attacked, if you're the defender, you have from the point you see that he's going to attack up until the point that he engages you to get your positioning fixed, right? Yes, Mr. Bitter, your coaching.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay. So if he marches across the map to attack you, this is especially true on Shakuras, and he's going to march through the middle, you have all day to set up a huge concave outside of those trees, right? Do you know
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? And the instant
Yeah.
he walks through those trees, you fungal growth the shit out of him, and you say, all right, this is where we're fighting. And you have the surface area, you face roll his army, and that's that. Maybe you can't get that kind of positioning on him, so you see him push across the map, and you say, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to control the center, but I can control my ramp. So you set up a big concave up on top of your ramp, and the second he comes up, you fungal growth the shit out of him, and you say, all right, you're going to sit right here on this ramp while I shell you with roaches and spine crawlers and fungal growth and queen pokes, and this is how it's going to go down. You're going to stay right here until you're dead. You know, that's what fungal growth allows you to do.
Gotcha.
So to just kind of come back to the infestor and summarize all of that in just a couple words, it's really important to make infestors.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if he has an army that you feel like you can't necessarily beat in a heads-up fight. I always like to reference the Rhett versus Xenio games. Now these weren't dictated, or the outcome of this wasn't dictated by infestor play, but it was dictated by positioning. These were in the Code A, I think, round of 32 matches. It was Rhett versus Xenio, and Rhett was behind the whole game. It was on Zelnaga Caverns, and he was like 30 plus supply behind regularly. And Xenio would attack, but Rhett would use better positioning. He would have a better concave, and he would use the map geography and just good, solid, tactical positioning to his advantage, and from being 30 supply behind, he defended time and time again. And that 30 supply in a mirror match is insane.
Yeah.
You know, that's 15 roaches. So you can absolutely, more so than in any other matchup, you win with good positioning in ZvZ. And somebody in stream is saying I don't think it was Xenio because he hasn't been in Code A, but that may be the case. I apologize if my citation is incorrect. I have the replays, but I don't know where they are. Anyway, that's all for now. So we've been talking a lot. Let's get into a game. Let's just kind of see how you play.
Okay.
My buddy J-Mag, who plays Master Level Protoss, is going to probably go ZvZ against you for this first game. And if you just completely outclass him, which is very
Oh.
possible and very likely because he is French.
I don't know. I've watched JMeg play. Don't feel good about outclassing him, but I'll certainly try.
Well, you can do it. He's really bad, I promise.
Okay.
Yesterday, JMag challenged me to a best of 5, and 15 minutes later it was 3-0, and he was crying about it. So.
Oh man.
All right, so I need to know your BattleNet info, or I can send
Okay.
it to you on Skype, and you can just say hi to me.
I think we're actually friends on BattleNet, or rather, I have you.
Oh wait, we've done this like 5 times already, haven't we?
Just once. Just
Let me
once.
see if I can figure out which one of these guys is you. You are.
I am Valor 612. Or my character code is 612.
Oh no, I don't have you on my friends list. I'm a total jerk.
Okay, that's fine. I have you, so I
say
don't actually
hi.
know how BattleNet works very well.
Just right-click on my face and say chat, and then say hello there, sir.
There we go.
All right. Invite to party. Invite Frenchie to the party. I will invite you to the game. Okay.
So one thing I struggle with in ZvZ is knowing how to open on what maps.
I don't understand why that would be a problem. You said you like Speedling Expand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's your answer.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean like Speeding Expand versus 15 hatch and.
All right. Okay. I'm not gonna say 15 hatchery is bad. A lot of really super good players go 15 hatch, and they win all the time with it. I think just the other day, Strife Crow and Cats played, and Strife Crow went 15 hatchery on steps and defended, like no prob. You know, so I mean, and Cats was going 1-base banelings. So I mean, you can go 15 hatch and you can be fine. I prefer Speedling Expand, and there's a very important reason why. The reason we like Speedling Expand more than 15 hatch is because we get map control. We have speed done so much faster than him. And if he does something silly like tech straight to roaches, we can usually kill his natural in the meantime.
That's definitely what I've been finding. The early speed is so incredibly helpful.
It is amazing. So, in general, I mean, if you want to work on 15 hatch, we can. And I can have your 15 hatch, you know, running like a... Shit, I had a really cool southern saying, and I forgot what it was. Damn it! Oh well. QQ.
I'm from Texas, so it would probably make sense to me.
I know, and all these people on stream, they just don't get it when we bust out our things like hotter than a $2 pistol. Have you heard that one?
No, I actually haven't heard of that one.
Well, you're not from far enough south in Texas.
No, not from the deep south.
Okay. All right. Anyways, let's get this show on the road. This is the first game, so just play your normal style. I'm going to interject as little as possible, and you know, if you make some big, huge, glaring, stupid mistake, I'm going to tell you all about it. But in general, I want to see your decision making and your gameplay at its best.
Okay.
And then,
I can't guarantee that, but I will certainly try.
And then when you screw up, I will make fun of you for it, and then tell you how to do better.
Yeah, everybody on the stream. ...
Okay. Here we go.
Maybe.
Possibly, hopefully. I think all these obs that jumped in with us are screwing us up. Okay, so Speedling Expand. Well, this is the first game, so I'm going to shut up and let you do it your way.
Okay.
And stuff. Damn, I was dancing when the game started. French people, man.
Hope my keyboard's not too loud.
It's amazing. I love your 400 APM spam. It's very impressive. My lone tidbit in terms of that, in regards to that, is don't ever let your macro or whatever you're doing, your timings suffer because you're spamming too hard.
Yeah. I try not to, but I also try and spam to just get my hand speed up.
Yeah.
Playing computer games is not something I'm super familiar with.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with spamming not every, but most of the top players do it. I do it. Rhett does not do it. Rhett makes fun of people for doing it, but most other top Zerg players do. What kind of keyboard are you using?
The cheapest keyboard from Best Buy that you can buy.
Awesome. Love it.
I just wanted to get the most basic, least fancy keyboard I could possibly find.
Awesome.
If I could find a mechanical keyboard, I would probably use one. But not super easy to find.
Don't let that drone massacre your guy. There you go. And you have drone scouted, which is fine.
Yeah, I always try and drone scout. I just, in case they're doing something super funky. 6-pull, 9-pull, 10-pull. I've lost plenty of games going 15 hatch until I get 9-pull.
Yeah, I mean, when you go 14-14 like this, you're saying I'm going to be ready for any kind of cheesy crap anyway, so you don't really have to drone scout.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with it, and you have pulled the guys off gas, which makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just saving up for my hatch right now.
You do want to deal with that drone that's in your base, and you do want to send a drone down to expand, and you do absolutely want to be contesting map control.
I don't ever know when to put the guys back on gas.
I like to leave one guy on gas, actually, and we'll talk a little bit about this after this game. And that kind of just comes down to understanding the natural progression of things. And as you have 6-lings, you will re-engage here. There you go. Beautiful. And the thing you need to be doing right now is figuring out what he's up to. What is he doing? He's not really fighting you for map control. So I would guess, and now you know, that he is in fact going roach. So with this, you should feel that you're actually safe to drone a little bit, because slow roaches are not going to do any sort of damage to you.
Really?
Yep.
Should I be throwing down a roach horn right now? Or
not just yet. Soon, but not right away. I'd say when you have 100 gas, you can do that. But you also are missing enough.
With my single drone on gas, or should I throw
Yep.
the other ones
With
back
that
on?
single drone.
Okay, so my money's getting pretty high.
You can do things like make another queen. You could make a spine crawler if you felt the need to. But right now, these slow roaches, if he tries to march across the map with those, and well, for now, with just these 3, you have enough lings to kill them outright. Now, if he tries to do anything else, like make a few more and then attack, you can counter. You can, there's lots of stuff you can do, and you have 2 hatcheries worth of production, so you can probably crank out stuff in time to just be ready. So you're going to make 1 or 2 rounds of drones, not any more than that. And you see here, you're closing in on that 100 gas. So now we're going to make that roach horn.
Okay, and why this 100 gas? Why is that our...
well, to be completely honest, it's just kind of an inconsequential figure that I made up. But everything that we do is kind of based off of gas. And here you see that he's trying to expand. You're going to punish this with your mobility. Beautiful. But you don't want to lose those lings. Those lings are your map control. You have to be replacing them. And from this point forward, you don't need to drone anymore. You've kind of taken a lead in regards to that. And as long as you deny this expansion, he can't win the game because you're ahead. You don't need anything else but units right now. So just make pure ling. And when your roach horn finishes, you can start to make roaches. Keep trying to deny this expansion if you can.
Okay. As far as Evo, should I be putting down Evo now? Usually I try and get one out early.
I want my Evo chamber to be done when I start my lair, because I want to start +1 immediately after I start my lair. So just make sure that timing lines up. So if you wanted to start it now, you'd be safe too, because you do have all these extra minerals. So continue working on this hatchery here. You don't want to let him expand for free, and that's kind of what you're doing. You've taken all the pressure off.
So should I be starting my lair now?
Yeah. We'll go up to... Okay, well... Okay. Your Evo timing is off a bit, but yeah, that's fine. You can start your lair, and you need to be making roaches. You're not making anything else, just roaches. And again, you're allowing him to have this expansion for free, which is no good. There you go. Now, see how he's come down like this? If he comes out too much, you can run up the ramp. And there you go. So go get that mineral line, see if you can pick off a drone or two.